right, hello, and welcome to another episode of I Guess I'll Do It with Pat House, a comedy podcast where I talk to comedians about comedy. You know the deal. Today's guest I'm very excited to have. I've known him for a long time now. His special is Before He Was Super. There's Dry Bar, there's Colbert, Corden. Today I have my buddy Stephen Rogers. What's up, man?
Hey, Pat. How are you, man? Good to see you.
You as well, dude. It's very good to see you. What's going on? Where are you now? You home?
I'm home. Yeah, I just did alternate side parking, so I'm very glad to be in here.
Home is New York City, right?
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm in Astoria, Queens,
That
with
is
every other comedian.
Comics, that's exactly what I was going to say. When I first started doing stand-up, every comedian I looked up to lived in Queens, like Ted Alexandro and Moody McCarthy and Christian Finnegan. They all lived in Astoria.
Yeah, Christian, I see a good amount. Moody is. I'm from Syracuse, so Moody holds a special place in my heart. So when I see him, I get excited.
Is he a Syracuse guy also?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I was brand new in the stand-up. Like, we're talking less than a year, no more than a year and a half. I had like a little digital camera way before cell phones, and Moody needed a picture for his first album cover, for his CD cover, and I took that on my digital camera. The album is called The Night It Went Well, and all I did was I took that picture.
Oh man, I love that album.
It's so oh my god, I still think of the joke, like, do you ever fuck up a crossword puzzle so bad you hide the newspaper? I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, and he's got a bit about shoveling should be in the Winter Olympics.
Yes.
So great.
Man, I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
He is so good. A bunch of really great late nights. He's just a killer comic.
He really is. And so are you, man. You're crushing it lately.
Oh, thank you.
You're touring.
I appreciate it.
Well, let's go back to the very beginning here, because I always like to talk about how I met my guest. You and I met, I believe, at a strip club show in Philadelphia, which is a way more normal thing than I think other scenes. I don't know if other scenes do that, but I have done more than my fair amount of comedy in strip clubs.
That's the only one I've done to my memory, but I think I've done it. No, I think I've only done it once, and it was with you.
Yeah, it was called Comedy for Gentlemen, which I believe Rachel Fogletto ran at the time. Yeah, she's a very, very good friend of mine. Yep.
Yeah.
And we met there that night. You know what's funny? I will say this. That was a seedier kind of a strip club, which I'm not, I'm not opposed to that or anything. But I've done stand-up in legit strip clubs. And you know what? It's a fucking great stage because the chairs are pointed towards you, the sound is great, and the lights are awesome. Like, it's a legit setup. It's weird, it's bizarre, but you're also...
It's a great point.
But it's also not a bad setup for comedy.
That's a really good point. I didn't think of it. The only thing I remember about, like, looking at that stage before I went up was the glass, the mirror behind you.
Yes.
And you could see the other performers' handprints from, I'm assuming, the night before or whatever. It was just clear that they shook their ass to the crowd and put their hands on the wall. And I just remember looking at that going, I couldn't be more different than whatever was on this stage last night. It was crazy.
I went back to do that show a second time, and there was another local comic on the show, and we went to the same high school. And after the comedy show, there was a girl dancing on stage who also went to the same high school as us.
Oh, man. You almost got a spit take out of me. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Dude, so you were just in Atlantic City this past weekend with Tom Papa.
Yeah.
I had friends that were there and loved your set.
Oh, thank God. I'm glad to hear it. Atlantic City, that night went well. Atlantic City, I'm always nervous about because sometimes you're not their go-to entertainment there. Yeah, but that is a beautiful room for stand-up, though. It's a really good room. I've never done that room before.
Oh, it's cool. That's like the main comedy club for the casino when there's not another event in the music box. But that's a really cool room. So, have you been touring with Tom a lot lately?
Yeah, I've been working with Tom since January of this year,
Nice.
and I did his radio show with him and Fortune, and he had watched my late nights and liked me and offered me some spots. So
That's
it's been
awesome.
fun.
That's like the
Yeah.
dream for anybody
Yeah.
who's like up and coming. I mean, I have toured with
Yeah.
my fair share of, guys that have taken me around as well. And there's nothing better than
Yeah.
when someone sees your stuff and likes it, or if you work with somebody, just a random booking, and then you hit it
Yeah.
off, and next thing you know, they're bringing me around. I was just telling somebody last night, like, I'll never forget the time, way before he was famous. I'm with Tom Segura in Portland, Oregon at Helium, and snow took away 3 of our 6 shows, and all the crowds we had less than 100 people. So,
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. So he's like, well, this sucks. I'm coming to Philly soon. Feature for me in Philly since you live there. So I feature for Tom at the Philly Helium. We hit it off, and I'll never forget him going, all right, how about Phoenix and Kansas City next month? And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
That feeling of this person that could have anybody open for them wants me around.
Yeah.
Is a good feeling.
It really is. And you've toured with some great people as well. I've seen you a couple times with Brian Regan. That's the last time you and I hung out, I believe, in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
That was a good night.
That was a really great night, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tickets also.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't know the last time I paid for a comedy show. Even if somebody huge comes to town, I'm like, my buddy's opening. I'll take care of this.
Yeah, exactly. It worked out pretty well because it wasn't looking like a hang night, which I always feel bad when it doesn't seem to go that route, and I have friends in the crowd. And it couldn't have worked out better that you went to the same restaurant that they picked.
That was so funny because the crowd herded out of there, and then we go grab food across the street, and Brian had his back towards the door, but I saw you, and I'm like, no shit. Then we hung for a while. We hung for a while that night,
and I don't think that was the plan. But what I love about Brian, he's not the only case, but I've seen him do this many times, is when a comic is in the vicinity, he wants the comic hang. If there's a comic hang to be had, he wants to do it.
Yeah,
and thankfully we did it that night.
Yeah, the first time I met him, I was featuring for Dan Cummins in Bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Were you there at Helium that night with him? I've
taken him to the Philly Helium a couple times.
Okay, this was definitely one of those times. There's a photo in my phone because I was opening for Dan. Dan used to open for Brian.
Yeah.
So me and Dan sent him a picture, and then me and Brian sent a picture to Dan. And in the background, you just see 45 tequila shots lined up on the bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not 3 or 4, like legit 45.
He's super generous and he wants to facilitate the hang. So he'll immediately be like, I'm buying around for everybody.
That's
he's just a generous man.
I love the fact too about him in particular is like I grew up a huge fan. I was a huge fan of his before I even did stand up. But I love that he will go to a city, headline a theater in front of thousands of people, and then go to the local club and maybe even hop on stage and maybe even as he told me, not even do that well on like a late night guest set.
Yeah, I've only gotten to see him go up once at whatever club we went to. We went to Dead Crow after doing a show, and
North Carolina.
The mic was happening there, and we were hanging out at the mic, and this comic comes up to us and goes, "You guys want to go up?" And I was very pleased that he went up, but the problem was I had to follow him. He's like, "I want to go up right away so I can just get back to hanging." So I had to follow him, which ended up being fine, but it was more scary than opening for him.
That shit used to scare me, but over the course of my career, I've had to follow Attell, which is a dream because he's probably my number one. I followed Attell. Yeah. I followed Todd Glass. That didn't go so great.
That I can't imagine.
And I followed Segura and Tony Woods. But I'll tell you who I followed, and I didn't stand a chance, and I bombed so fucking bad. I ate it so hard after Maria Bamford.
Oh, yeah, man.
No one wants to see Maria Bamford and then Pat House right after. Nobody.
I don't even. It could be. I mean, that's hard. I could see that. I don't know if I would want to follow that.
I had no choice.
I love her. She's incredible.
She's incredible. She's just. I mean, not only are we wildly different as comics, but this was also UCB in Hollywood, so I was on their turf.
Oh, sure. That's even harder.
I didn't stand a chance. So let's go back. She's fantastic. All right, so let's go back to your beginnings. Did you start comedy in Syracuse?
I did. Yeah, I started in Syracuse.
You guys have a funny bone there.
We have a funny bone. I kind of have a couple of, I have two different starting points.
Okay.
The first one was my graduation party from high school. My parents knew I wanted to be a comedian, and they said, if you can't, if you're going to try this, might as well perform in front of all these people that come to see you for this graduation party. See if you really want to do it. And so I did stand up at my graduation party.
That was not, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now we got to break this down. One, how did that go? Two, did you have material ready to go?
I wrote material for it. The only joke I remember, and it's probably because it's the only one that I remember doing well. I mean, I did fine, but, it's really, I don't count it that often because it's like, they're there, they know you.
That is the most supportive, cushioned audience for a first-timer.
Yeah. The only joke I remember saying that worked was, thank you all for being here. As you know, I want to be a stand-up comedian, so I will be asking for money again.
That's a great joke.
Like
that is
Thank you.
Phenomenal. Not only is that funny, it's also worded to the syllable perfectly.
Yeah, I was, and I remember that working and being like, okay. And then I tried mics here and there, but I was like that guy that didn't know what he was doing, and so it wasn't really taking it seriously.
Yeah, I'm still that guy.
Yeah. And then the Funny Bone opened, and I was able to get a guest spot their first weekend because they were giving guest spots to local people the first weekend every night.
Oh, nice.
And I was able to.
Did Syracuse have a decent sized scene?
When I started, there was some killers there, man. Anna Phillips, Travis Blunt, Nick Mara, who was like a local headliner and friends with Moody. He was in the audience and saw me and took me under his wing after that night. But it was like, I don't know, it was like the same ratio as most comedy scenes, of people that are really trying to do it. And then the people that are like, this is my hang night.
Yes.
And I guess I'll go up until, they don't chase it as aggressively. They still love it, but they're not in it to have a career.
Mm-hmm.
So that ratio was it was like maybe 4 or 5 people that were really chasing it. And I'm sure that number's wrong, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smaller to the amount of people that were doing it. But yeah, that was where I started.
So what would you, discounting your graduation party, what would you consider your very first real set?
Was the Funny Bone.
Oh, nice.
For sure, yeah.
And how old were you?
20. I just hit 10 years. And I was 20, and I don't remember a single joke from that.
Oh,
night.
none?
None. And I remember it going just fine.
Okay.
And then getting off and people saying it was good. I doubt
you
it.
said that so hesitantly too, like people were saying it was good.
I doubt very much it was.
No, go ahead.
I think it was probably bad, but I didn't know.
I find with all of my guests, a majority of them, their first set went very, very well. And I'm in that same boat as well. My first set went very, very well. And then I just bombed for legitimately 2 months straight. Like I didn't have, my first and second sets went well. And then the next 25, no matter whether it was like the Laugh House or like a bar open mic, the next 2 months, straight bombs. Like I started in October of 2004. My first 2 sets went well. I don't think I had a good set till like January 2005. And that's no
I
exaggeration.
I think that's similar. I think the first set, like, people liked it, but I don't like. I guess so. We'll put it in the category of good, and then I was bad for like 2 years, I think.
That's a fair. And like,
Yeah.
so I started at the same club that Kevin Hart started at, and the guy that hosted the open mic used to say, nobody starts out good. Kevin Hart was not good at first. So like, don't be hard on yourself. Don't be mean to people. Don't be an asshole. Like, nobody's good at first. And
Yes.
I still think of that all the time.
Yeah, and you know what? I wanted to keep with tradition, so I was bad on purpose, for so long, just so I didn't break the mold. Yeah.
So that's cool. The Syracuse Funny Bone, I haven't done that one. I've done a bunch of funny bones, never been to the Syracuse one.
I have a special place for it, obviously.
Of course you do.
And I have fun there, and thankfully, I'm very grateful that people actually come and see me when I go there.
Well, especially since you moved away, it's a hometown show, so it's more of a special event kind of thing.
Yes, but a lot of my friends and mutual friends of you and I who do not like that club, and I will not name their names, but they're not fans of the room.
Okay, why that club in particular?
I don't know. I think maybe it has high ceilings. It is a big room.
Okay.
But I had nothing to compare it to for a long time.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I knew for my first year before Helium even opened, all I knew was like the one room and the two bars. You know what I mean? And then when you start to see other stuff, you're like, holy shit, this room's so much better. This is nicer.
Yeah.
This makes more sense.
Yeah. It's but I think it was a good place to grow for me. And the audience was learning stand up too, because we had Wise Guys for a long time, but I don't know if people would a lot of people would go. But this was in the mall.
Yeah,
it's still there, but
yeah,
it's the mall, so it's more popular.
Like when Helium came to Philly, the crowds had to learn how to be audiences.
Yeah,
it really is a thing, and it took a couple years to essentially groom them, but it needs to be done. Now, how long were you in Syracuse before you moved to New York City?
I lived there my whole life, but in comedy years, only 4 years of my stand-up was in Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah. I left in 2017, and then I've been in New York ever since.
How was the transition? Did you already have some connections when you went there, or did it really suck?
It sucked, but I had connections too.
Yeah.
It was both.
I did the New York scene for 1 year in 2011, and I was featuring at a lot of clubs on the road, and I became buddies with some headliners and stuff. And man, it was soul crushing to feature for Mark Maron at this club and then come home to New York City and not get on an open mic. I'm like, this is so strange. I know more celebrities and famous comics than
Yes.
It's weird.
It's very weird, but now I kind of welcome it. I was opening for Brian before I moved to New York. So I was doing theaters, and then I was working at the grocery store. And then I saved up enough money to move to New York, and then I was doing what you're saying. I was doing theaters with Brian Regan, tour bus, fly home, and bomb my socks off at a mic. And
it sucks, but there's something I love about that though.
I love it. I do love it,
dude. I got my ass handed to me last night. I don't mind being knocked down. I
think you need it. Well, it's not a unique thing I just said. You do need it,
absolutely,
and I welcome it. I call it getting my my bomb out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I don't eat it, it's not what I just came from. It's not the same attention span, appreciation, or any of that. Because wherever I just was, they have been waiting to see a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's most likely not my show, but I'm on it. And then I come home and it's a bunch of comics that are looking at their notebook before it's their turn. And I like it because It reminds me I have a lot more work to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You never want to stop learning or getting better.
Yeah.
So you just did some shows with Nate Bargatze as well, right?
Yes.
Man,
yeah.
There's a photo of me, Nate, Big J, Mike Vecchione, and Kurt Metzger, and I cannot find
Holy
it.
crap.
Yeah.
That's a great photo.
We were all on the same weekend at Rascals Comedy Club in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Whoa.
Yep. Wish I could find that photo. So, what's the biggest show you've done with Nate? Because he's starting to dabble in the arena territory, which is wild just how many comics right now in 2023 can do an arena. Like, it's probably more than 10 comics now that can do an arena.
I've heard it. I think I heard 12 or something like that.
I was going to say 10 to 15, but I kept it 10 for the low end. But yeah, I totally believe it's 12 to 15.
And the biggest one I did with him was we did the Fox in Detroit, and I think that's close to 5,000.
Wow.
And then it might be 4,000. I don't know.
Well, regardless, you didn't do the Bridgestone Arena with him?
No, I was with him the week after that, which I preferred. I mean, I didn't have a choice, but I liked it because he was coming down from a significant high, and this was my first weekend with him. I think that would have been too. I was really nervous about that run with him, just fitting in, and it's it's a different hang every time you show up.
Yeah,
I mean, relatively the same sort of thing, but on that scale, I was a little nervous. But coming up with him in October, I'm in Indianapolis at an arena. And
which is 2 blocks over from Helium.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm at that arena with him, and I'm a little nervous about that one.
That's cool. Are you performing in the round? Do you know, or
I don't know yet. And I did an arena with Brian in Idaho recently. I think that arena was 3,000 or 4,000. It was like a mini hockey arena.
Yeah.
But it was it's a pacing that I'm gonna have to learn.
Well, you know what's so funny? Okay, so I had a weekend with Segura. We did a Florida run a couple years ago, and the last show of the run was the Hard Rock in Hollywood. I'd say about 5,000 to 7,000 people, like a smaller arena. And like the next night, it was going to be more people because Aerosmith was there. And bigger is not always better. I was like, all right, 7,000 people, and my first minute, pretty rough. I had back sweat 90 seconds into my set. Yeah. And then like I finally got a big pop out of the room. I'm like, okay, that's what the full room sounds like. And it was 4 or 5 minutes until I got that sound again. So I felt like my whole set, I was hovering around, okay, I think I have 50% of the room.
Yeah.
And then we're comics, we're all nuts. So the whole time Segura is on stage, I'm like, well, I'm never working with him again. I just I ate a shit sandwich. I bombed. It was the worst show of the run, and maybe one of the. It wasn't a complete disaster, but it was the worst show of the run, like I just said. So I'm here. Sure. Here I am thinking, he's never going to use me again. And then as soon as I bring Tom off stage, we're just at that moment between two comics on and off stage. Tom looks right at me and goes, "They were fucking weird," and I'm like, "It's not me. It's not me. It's not me." I just needed him.
Love that.
I didn't know he was going to say that, but when he said that, the weight of the world lifted off my shoulders. You know what I mean?
I know very well because I was with Regan and we did a show, and when you're opening for these guys, you're very lucky in the fact that they're stand-up fans. They're there for jokes. So they're a little warmer than some club shows.
And they also, if you are opening for Regan or I'm opening for Dan Cummins, they should trust that whoever is opening is a friend. So you kind of already go in with 1 foot,
Yes. I've been fortunate. It's that way with Tom and that way with Nate. But I had 2 stories. This remind me of the Nate thing was the first one I did with him. I went first and they were seating the entire set. Yep. It was and that's something that's my job. It's to take that hit,
bite the bullet.
But I got off going, well, I'm never doing these shows again. He won't. After that set, he's not going to have me. And then there was nothing to it. Everybody knows that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
But one time I opened for Brian, and I felt that way that you described as I got off. And I was like, I mean, like, I've worked with him for a long time, but I don't know. That one was rough. That might be the one that does it. And then he gets off stage, and we're on the bus, and there's a hang and everything, and we're having a good time. And then there's a brief moment into the hang where it's just me and him, and he looks at me, he goes, "What'd you think of them?" And I was like, "All right, we're good."
Yep.
He felt that way too. It wasn't me. It's a good feeling.
It really is, man, and it's so cool that you've worked with so many people.
I'm very grateful. It's really great to watch. I mean, the people you've worked with too, when you get to watch them and the tweaks they make and the things they do to nurture and grow their new act.
Yeah.
It's a masterclass. That's kind of overused now, but it feels
no, but it totally is. Especially like if you work with somebody frequently enough and you get to watch them build a set. Like my favorite Segura special is mostly stories, and I was touring with him a lot at the time, and I watched him build that hour. Like the Mike Tyson story, his closer is probably 8, 10, 12 minutes long. Like I remember it when it was like 5, and I watched him just build it, and it's just so cool. Now, we're also insane people, but like I would watch all 6 shows in the back of the room and watch every single show. And it's the masterclass is the absolute best way to phrase it. And like when Helium first opened in Philly, I would probably watch every single show every single weekend for years because every comic was different. It was David Tell, then Maria Bamford, then Laurie Kilmartin, then Patrice O'Neill. Like it was just insane to watch all these headliners, and I would watch every show for years.
I did that at Funny Bone. Yeah. And I that's how I was with Brian for all of the building of On the Rocks, that last special.
Did you do Red Rocks with him?
I did. That was at Tuacahn in Utah, but it's like a sister venue of the Red Rocks. It's beautiful.
Oh my God. It looked like it. And that special is so funny.
It's so good. And I opened for him on that night, but just to mirror what you were saying, to watch him build that hour, it was like incredible to see all the work he put in, and how he could take something that I already thought was perfect and improve on it.
Oh, what's a typical day on the road like with Brian? If you guys are on the bus,
on the bus, it's always a good hang, and then we'll, whenever we get to where we're going to perform, I go to my hotel and I'll get work done during the day, which I imagine he's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll hang with the tour manager, like we'll go get coffee or lunch or something, and then I'll go back to work. And then I love going to sound check. I don't know did you go to sound check?
Oh, every single night, because I wanted to know. I don't care what level, Segura, Sebastian, Dan Cummins, I don't care what they do, but I need to know what it sounds like when I'm up there.
Yeah, I need to see the room. 100%.
I don't know how people don't do sound checks. Even if I'm the opener, I don't care if I'm doing 5 minutes. I need to know exactly what the room sounds like.
Yeah, for me, I need to know where the seats are. Like I need to see how the layout is, because sometimes who you are opening for wants it pitch black,
and
I don't like not knowing where the heads are.
Yeah,
because it's something about it, like knowing exactly where the balcony is and everything. So I like seeing the room because it's usually a beautiful room, and you don't get to see it because the lights are off. But I'll go to the sound check, and then from there until Brian shows up, I'll freak out about my set. And then when he shows up, it always loosens me up because we're buddies and it's a hang.
Yeah.
So that's the green room hang has always saved my set pretty much every show. And anywhere.
Well, this podcast started when the pandemic happened, and I wanted it to be a green room hang because I couldn't hang with my friends in the green room, so I started having one-on-one chats because comedy is fun and having great sets is fun and meeting your heroes is fun, but the comedy hang is the most fun.
It's really where I think pretty much every comic can be there themselves.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this with Caitlin yesterday. For people that don't know, fiance, also a comedian, and we hung out with her friends, and I had a great time. And I was like, that was as close as I could get to being who I am. But in a comic hang, you can always show every part of you. I feel like
I totally agree.
Not physically, but yeah.
So I was watching some of your Instagram clips this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen your stand-up and I've seen your late night appearances and everything, but I still there's always something that stands out on somebody's social media feed. You did a show. Where was the show where there was a baby in the crowd?
Montana. That
sounds like some Montana shit.
It was Billings, Montana, I think. I'm pretty sure. And
what happened there, dude? I can remember 2 times in my career where I was at a comedy club and there was a baby in the crowd. Like, comedy club baby.
A club's pretty crazy.
I won't say which one on here, even though it was different management and the whole different thing. It was Good Nights in Raleigh.
Oh, okay.
And I was getting into my closer, and I was having a really good set. And there was that moment of silence before a punchline, and the baby cried. And I literally go, "Is that a fucking baby?" And the room went nuts. It was like thunderous. I'm like, there's nothing I could do to even top that. And then I just riffed on it for a second. And then I'm in that hallway by the stairwell to if you're left of the stage. And then a woman angrily left holding a baby, and she shot me daggers like I'm the asshole here that brought a baby to a comedy club.
I mean, it's unfortunate that she felt that way, but our whole job is to take every opportunity to
absolutely. Also, it was such a unique thing, and all I said was, "Is that a fucking baby?" And it was the best laugh I got all weekend. So I'll gladly take it.
Yeah, as you know from watching that clip, I had a similar experience, and it's fun. Like, I don't think anybody, I say this a lot, but I don't think anybody wants to see a comedian that's not really there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to be present. You got to be in the moment. You can tell, I mean, I tell jokes that I've written and they're not spontaneous material, but if there's an opportunity to be spontaneous in the moment, I'm going to take it.
Absolutely.
And a baby, I mean, you just set me right up for some fun, you know? And yesterday I was doing a show at a winery, and the sun was still coming down. And a window was behind me, and I literally had to like a check spot, had to deal with the sunset. I saw a woman looking around me to check out the sunset. So I started riffing on, oh my God, I can't believe I have to open for the sunset here. This is good because I have a gig performing in front of the Northern Lights next week. Like, I just started riffing on. It's like, that's so great. It's new.
That is great. I performed outdoors last night in the Pocono Mountains, and it was a gorgeous setup. But there was only one speaker, and the people were spread out. So I don't even know if everybody heard me, but I had a great line as well. I wrote it down right away. It was a bit of a rough one. I'll totally admit that. And I said, I'm just trying to figure out if my back sweat is from the heat or from you guys. And the other comics laughed, and maybe 2 other people, but that fell on deaf ears. And I was like, you know what? That's fucking funny.
Yeah, I've gotten to that's gold. Like, that's really great. I've gotten to the point where I tell them if they're wrong. And I don't do it like the comic that flips out on them. I'll give them, I'll be like, I try to wait until I'm more than halfway through of them. Like last night I had it where I was doing all right. It was a rough room, but I was able to change it a little bit. And but there are some jokes they didn't give me anything on, and I'll wait for a certain amount of time, and then I'll be like, we're fighting. I disagree with all of you on that one. And that will usually do something just to be like, I disagree. This is good.
Yeah.
And
I used to say, just so you know, it's not me. I used to say that all the time to crowds.
Right.
And I was never like combative, but like if they were dumb or just not on board or just not getting it, and like I'm doing my A stuff, I know this stuff works. I would always say, just so you know, it's not me.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing, like the whole, I try not to blame the audience, but it's like I do have more expertise than them.
Yes, and also I felt like when I was coming up, like very, very early in my career, a bunch of older comedians said you never blame the audience, and I disagree immensely.
I'm in the middle.
I can see why you would be in the middle, but like I have done some Friday night late shows hosting where the crowd is absolutely drunk out of their minds. Not my fault, not my problem. Like, how could I blame the audience? That chick screamed. He just left to go throw up. That table of 12 won't stop talking. Yeah, I'm blaming the audience.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it is their fault.
I did shows recently. I performed in South Carolina for the first time. And, gonna blame the audience. I was mixing up my material all weekend. I'm a little bored with some stuff right now. So I brought some old stuff back. And all weekend, I did a mixture of shit from all 3 of my albums. And I was doing the best stuff from all of them. And it wasn't hitting. And I was like, nope, blaming the audience. Like this stuff this was my closer for 4 years in a row. And it just got dead silence.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Have you done stand-up in all 50 states?
No. I'm at, I think, 46 or 44.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, are you on a mission to do all 50?
Yes.
Because I am as well.
Yeah, where are you?
38.
I
and I have 39 and 40 on the calendar.
Do you?
I do.
I don't know.
I have Oklahoma City later this month. Never done Oklahoma. And then
nice.
I had
Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
Which Bricktown?
Bricktown, yep.
That's a killer room.
All their clubs are. All of their
Yes. I like Bricktown maybe the most.
Oh, cool.
But
That's good.
I've done like 3 of their rooms. But
Tacoma, Spokane are amazing clubs.
I haven't done those.
Louisville.
Yeah. I guess I've only done Appleton and Bricktown.
Appleton's cool. I love that hotel at Appleton. I don't know why.
Yes.
But yeah, I got Oklahoma on the books, and I have a reschedule. I am doing Honolulu with Cummins in January.
Whoa!
What now?
That's gonna be great.
Now? You're almost at the very end here. What states are you missing?
I'm missing Delaware.
Oh, you're not.
I am.
Well, I know you are, but you're also not missing much.
Oh, yeah. Delaware's my the one that is on the books.
No comedy club in Delaware, by the way.
No, I'm with Tom Papa and some amphitheater. That's what I mean. I don't know. I'm missing Alaska, Hawaii.
So
I used to have it. My mom has it written down. I don't.
We have it narrowed down to 1 now, I believe, because Alaska and Hawaii. Wait, you said you're
Alaska, Hawaii, Delaware. I think I'm at 44.
Oh, okay. Then we're missing a couple.
Yeah, I'm not sure who I'm missing. No, I got Louisiana. God.
Don't worry about it. Don't want to stress yourself out. I saw that you are performing with Tom Papa at the West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
Have you done that room?
No.
I did it with Sebastian Maniscalco a couple years ago, and holy shit, did I eat it.
Oh, no.
No, that was just my weekend, not yours. But oh,
no.
I don't know if I told this story on the podcast before, but early show sucked. I can't remember if it was 2 shows in one night. No, it was 1 show each night, 2 nights. The first show sucked. Bad. And then the second night is slightly better, but still also bad. and there's one person in the front who's like kind of enjoying it. I can see somebody is into me, and it was Tony Danza.
Whoa!
Yeah, because he was going to be on a sitcom with Sebastian at the time. So
as his father, right?
Yep. So Tony comes in my green room and goes, "Fuck these people." And it was the coolest thing because he saw what was happening. The crowds didn't give a shit about me, and they were kind of snooty for like Sebastian too. But I was feeling really down, and then I literally got a pep talk from Tony Danza.
That should be the name of your book.
Yeah, he was a pep talk from Tony Danza, the Pat House memoir. But yeah, such a nice dude. Super, super nice dude. Now, with you opening for, all these guys that you tour with, have you had some celebrities in the crowd where they're there and you're like, this is really bizarre? Because with Sebastian in particular, we had some weird, not weird, just, I looked at it and saw Bill O'Reilly in the front row. I'm like, this is fucking bizarre.
Bill O'Reilly was at my show at the Paramount in Long Island.
That's exactly where I met Bill O'Reilly when I was at the Paramount with Sebastian.
Yes, and I could see Bill O'Reilly from the stage, and
so
that was weird.
Yeah, he came backstage to meet Sebastian, and I was going outside to get some air, and he was leaving, and I was walking in the steps in front of him, and he goes, "Nice set, young man." And I was like, "Thank you."
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I met him prior to my set, and I did not want to meet him after. I didn't want to know. I don't want to know ever.
Dude, I'm not a fan of eye contact.
Yeah. The celebrity for me was Regan. That's how I met him. He was in the audience of a show I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that I knew he was there, and that was terrifying, but it obviously worked out. I'm kind of concerned that performing in the Hamptons with Tom Papa,
new tour,
Tony Danza.
Yeah, I heard.
I would eat it so hard. But opening for Papa in the Hamptons makes me concerned that Seinfeld will be there.
Oh, that's really cool. I had that with Sebastian because Sebastian was on Comedian in Cars Getting Coffee, and so at the time, a couple years ago, Sebastian and Seinfeld were like really tight and hanging out a lot. And Sebastian, we were at the Borgata in the big room, and Seinfeld does that room a couple times a year. So there was some talk that Seinfeld might be in the room, but he never showed. But I was like, there's a legit chance Seinfeld's going to watch me do stand up this weekend.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't need to know what he thinks.
Yeah,
that would affect me.
That would affect the rest of my life.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wind down here in a second, but I love getting a horror story out of my friends. Do you have a show that comes to your mind first when the question of a hell gig or a nightmare pops up?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Caitlin and I co-headlined a Elks Lodge somewhere up in upstate New York.
Already love it. I've done them. So
I've done them. I did them my whole starting out. So I was like, oh, it's one of these. I've done these. And host that booked us goes up, and I'm absolute silence for 10 minutes. And I was like, okay. I'm next. I'm like, I'm hosting a little bit. I'm kind of going digging out of whatever this hole is, and I'll just, I'll get them to where I got to get them, and then we'll be fine. And I bombed for 45 minutes. And I tried everything. Let's see. Okay, maybe they want crowd work. They didn't want crowd work. And then I did, like what you were saying earlier, I did old stuff that was strong and nothing. And it was the same lighting as a bomb dream. It was just everything you know that feel. And at one point I looked at my phone to see what time I had, and I was at 20 or something. And I was like, you know what? Let's bomb for 45. We've never bombed for 45. And I was still trying to not.
Yeah. But around the 35-minute mark is where acceptance kicks in.
Yes, yeah. I was like, okay, well, you know what's a good, like, you know this, but like I say this to young comics or whatever, like, you have as much time as you can fill when you're bombing, not when you're killing. And I'm like, well, it's nice to know that I have 45. I definitely have 45.
Dude, no, that's such a real thing. The old Cap City in Austin, not the brand new club. The old Cap City had 2 rooms. And the second time I performed there, I was featuring for somebody all weekend, but I was headlining on Wednesday. I headlined the small room on Wednesday, and I bombed for 45 minutes. And yes, it sucked. I got him a little towards the end. Like, my closer did well, but I bombed for 43 of the 45 minutes. But honestly, this sounds crazy, but to what you just said, I came off stage and I was like, oh my God, I survived. I did my time.
Yeah.
That sucked, but it wasn't the worst. No. And it was a lesson every single comic that headlines has been through. And I was like, okay, I took a headline beating and I'm okay.
Yeah. Now, the horror part of that was, other than the obviously bombing, and it was bad, was I was getting one laugh the whole set. This is the silver lining, and then I'll give the rest of the horror. I was getting one laugh my whole set, and I look, and it's Caitlin. And, you know, fellow comic just dying at how bad it's going.
Of course, you always... Look, we're on the same team, but there's nothing like watching your friends suffer.
It's really great. It's really great, because there's just something special about it. And because especially when you know the comedian is good.
Also we've been there, so like we can point fingers. Like, if you're bombing, I can make fun of you because I've done that a million times.
Exactly.
It's fun to watch your friends go down in flames.
Yes. Now, Caitlin and I couldn't be more different stand-up wise. So I'm watching her die laughing, and I'm thinking, well, once I'm off stage, they're gonna have a good time because everything I'm not, Caitlin is. So she's going to have a great set. I get off, and she eats it for 45. And during her set, now this is a reflection of all of the 3 comics, not just her. A woman gets up and goes to the host and goes, "I'd like my money back." And he goes, "It's for charity." Best line ever.
That is the best line ever. And that was, you told that perfectly too, because I didn't know there was a tag coming.
And so then after Caitlin and I run across, we get out of there as fast as we can. And then we found this wing spot, like this bar, and we're eating wings, just dying, no talking, just laughing so hard at how horrible it was. It was truly something.
Dude, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, man. Plug all your stuff. Plug your socials or anything you want people to check out.
When does this come out?
Wednesday. So I believe this upcoming Wednesday, 5 days from now.
Great. So today, then, my Don't Tell set comes out on YouTube.
Nice.
That would be that next Wednesday. So please watch that and share that. For the love of God.
Nice. How much time is that? How long is that set?
Like 8 minutes.
Nice. Where was that filmed at?
In San Diego.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So please share that. It's good, I think. And then I have a special, like you said, Before He Was Super on YouTube, and follow me on Instagram at Stephen Rogers Comedy.
Awesome, man. Dude, thank you for the great chat.
Thanks, Pat. It's so good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. I'll let you know when this comes out, and I hope we cross paths soon.
Yes, please. I hope to see you.
You too, man. All right. Stephen Rogers, everybody.